Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I decided that each Wednesday we're going to do a virtual field trip instead of a math video, since it seemed like people really liked the virtual field trip to Ireland that I did last week. So today's virtual field trip will be to, drumroll, Germany. So Germany is a country in Europe, which I'll show you on the map in a minute. I went there in 2007 when I was studying abroad in Ireland. My friends and I made a 4 or 5 day trip to Germany. So I have some pictures from there as well as some fast facts. It's a really cool country and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so let's learn about Germany. Here's a map of Germany, on a political map. As you can see, Germany is broken up into a bunch of states. There are 16 in all, okay? And you can see that's the capital that's circled, that's Berlin. I did not actually go to Berlin though. Where I went was Munich. You can see it circled down there. It is spelled differently in German than we spell it in English, okay? But in English, you pronounce it Munich. So that's in the Bavaria region in southern Germany. And then we also traveled to a little town called Fussen, a very tiny town that we went to just to try to get the small town experience instead of the city experience, which was also in southern Germany. So now let's zoom out. Here's a map of Europe. Can you find Germany? Take a minute, you can pause the video if you want to and see if you can find where Germany is in the continent of Europe. All right, there it is. Did you find it? So Germany, as you can see, is solidly in Western Europe. Okay, it is bordering 9 different countries. Okay, there is even a little tiny bit of it at the top towards the sea, so it's not landlocked. All right, let's zoom out further. Here's the world. Can you find Germany here? Again, pause if you want to. All right, here's Germany right there. Okay, so the United States, which is west of Germany, way west across the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, you can see that it would be quite a trip to go from the United States. We came from Ireland since I was living in Ireland at the time when I visited Germany, so it was only like a 2 or 3 hour plane ride. Here's the German flag. Okay, it is 3 horizontal stripes, black, then red, then yellow. I Googled why the flag of Germany is those 3 colors, since I knew the reason behind the Ireland flag, but the internet just kept saying that those are just Germany's national colors. So there they are. So here are our fast facts for Germany, also in black, red, and yellow. So in German, in the German language, which is what they speak in Germany, okay, you actually pronounce Germany as Deutschland, okay? So they call it Deutschland, so not Germany. That's what we call it. Germany is actually the second most populous country in Europe after Russia. So it's the country with the second most amount of people living there. It has 83 million people living in it. To give you a context, if you're a Marylander, we only have 6 million people living in Maryland. And Ireland has even less than that. Germany didn't officially become a country until 1871. It was a bunch of different small nation states that decided to come together. It also separated back into 2 separate countries for a time. From the late 1940s, after World War II, they separated into West Germany and East Germany, and then it didn't reunite back into one country until 1990. So there's this wall put up in Berlin, and the wall fell down. Well, it got taken down by humans in 1989, and then Germany officially became one country again in 1990. Germany has 16 states, as I mentioned earlier, so nowhere near the 50 United States, but it does have 16 separate regions. Again, I only stayed in the Bavarian region. I was only there for a few days. We get a few words from the German language, and our biggest one that you might know is kindergarten. Kindergarten is actually a German word. In German, Kinder means children. There are over 2,000 castles in Germany. Germany is actually a very old region, even though it didn't become a country until 1871. Settlers lived there 600,000 years ago. So Germany has lots and lots of old structures, and there are over 2,000 castles in Germany, and I actually went to one, so you'll see pictures of that in just a minute. The Christmas tree tradition started in Germany. So I'll show you, I was there right before Christmas, and so we went to some markets and saw some really cool trees, but the whole concept of a Christmas tree was invented in Germany. And finally, Germany is a very wealthy country. It has huge economy, it has lots of industries, and 2 of their biggest ones, they are one of the world's largest car producers. They produce a lot of cars. And fun fact for any book lovers out there like me, Germany also printed the first book. So way back in 1455, the first book ever was printed in Germany. So first, let's look at a few downtown pictures of Munich. So Munich is where we stayed for a few days. So this first picture is of an ice skating rink. As you can see, we clearly went in the winter. We went there the week before Christmas, or maybe 2 weeks before Christmas. And so there were lots of people out and about enjoying the ice skating rink. Some of these pictures, by the way, are a little blurry because 2007 problems. Here's one of the main streets of Munich. You can see, again, not tons of skyscrapers, but lots of really pretty buildings, and it was definitely cold. You can see people bundling up. Not freezing, okay, similar to our winters, but just a tad bit colder, at least when I was there. This Hermer Building is a pretty famous building in Munich just because it looks so pretty. It was also decorated for the holidays. It's just a men's fashion store, so it's not anything really significant or historical, but just one of the really pretty buildings in Munich. Munich had a lot of beauty. This restaurant we went to, the Augustiner Keller, it actually was built in 1812. The restaurant started in 1812, so it is over 200 years old. To give you a context, America wasn't founded until the late 1700s. So pretty soon after our country was even created and founded, this restaurant opened up. So we went there. They did not have an English menu. We just had to sort of guess and point. And this is a very blurry picture of my meal, but I wanted to show you some German food. So on this plate is Wiener Schnitzel, okay, which is like a pan-fried veal. And then Spätzle, those are the noodles. They're like pasta made with eggs. So we just sort of guessed on the menu because we couldn't understand it since we didn't speak German, but it was quite tasty. Here's some more food in Germany. So this is Bratwurst, so kind of sausage. It's very popular in Germany. And these are me in the middle and 2 of my friends. You could buy them a lot just out on streets. Like they had food trucks set up and little stands all over the city where you could buy Bratwurst. We ate it like a hot dog, but you could also get it in other ways too. So that was something really nice and delicious. And you can see here also they had lots of public water fountains where you could just fill up your water bottles for free. So that's one of my friends filling up her water bottle. That was a nice way to save some money on buying water and also to be environmentally friendly. Germany is very environmentally friendly. That's one of the leading countries for that. So this is called the Hofbrau House, and it is a famous restaurant and hall, and it was actually built in 1589. So over 400 years ago was when it was built. It was bombed during World War II, and so only this one hall that you see actually is still standing. Everything else had to be rebuilt, which it was. They had some famous visitors over the years. Okay, Mozart, the musician, Lenin, okay, from Russia, and Hitler from Germany have all been here. So that was very crowded. And then you can see this band was playing for us. This is like a traditional German attire, German clothing you can sort of see, but no one was actually walking around wearing that like in the stores. This is just what they were wearing because they were playing some traditional German music. So that was pretty cool. So those are some of my pictures from Munich. And again, we stayed there for a few days. And the other cool thing about Munich that I want to show you that was special because of our time there were the Christmas markets. So this picture right here, this is part of Marienplatz, which is like the central square in Munich. Okay, that tall building is the city hall. And so Munich has this big Christmas market. They're all over Germany. But this one, theirs was called Cristiano Market. And they have about 140 stands where you can buy presents and gifts and food and things like that. It runs for about a month and it ends on December 24th. It ends on Christmas Eve. So you can see like that tall Christmas tree next to the building on the right. And then this sign, it's a little blurry, but it says basically the Munich Cristiano Market. So that was kind of welcoming us into the market. You can see this is just an example of one of the stands. It looks like some sort of puppet stand. These stars were really pretty and they were very popular, sold in a lot of the markets. And of course, we all bought one. And then just an example of some more crafts that we saw at the market. There were lots and lots of crafts. So that was just something that was really special that, again, we wouldn't have been able to see at a different time, but we were able to see because we were there right before Christmas. So then for our last day in Germany, we actually boarded a train and took about an hour-and-a-half trip to Fussen, which is a small, tiny town in very southern Germany, right near Liechtenstein. So we wanted to find a small town, and we also wanted to see a castle. So Fussen is really close to a castle, which you'll see in a minute, but it was also really cool just to get that small town feel. So this is actually a picture from the train. You can see the mountains there, okay, the Alps. So that was a gorgeous view. And then this was our view when we got off the train station. You can see the mountains right there. I remember tearing up, A, because I was really emotional seeing the beauty of the snow in the mountains, and B, because it was really cold. This is a sign for Fussen's Christmas market, which again, most of the German towns had. And you can kind of see it looks like it ran for 2 weekends in December. But that's kind of what the whole town looked like. Pretty small. Okay, snowy, mountains right there behind it, and just really pretty. This is, my friends, this is the group of 5 of us who went to Germany. You can see we're holding cups. So because it was Advent, which is a Catholic season right before Christmas, they were handing out like a free spiced hot drink on the streets at night, just as a welcome and, like enjoy Fussen. So that was really cool. This is a view from where we stayed. We stayed in this like tiny bed and breakfast with just basically like a room or two, and then the person who owned it cooked us breakfast in the morning. So this was our view right there. So you can see the mountains and all the snow. This picture has the Alps just peeking up from behind the clouds, so I just thought that was pretty. This is just a picture as we were walking through Fussen, and it's just gorgeous. It looked like a storybook. Again, we were there in winter, so it had the extra beauty of the snow, but I think it would be pretty in any season. And then this is the castle. So this was our last day in Germany. Okay, we had heard about this castle, so we knew we had to go. So it was only about a 10-minute bus ride from Fussen. So this is called the Neuschwanstein Castle. And rumor has it that Walt Disney built the Disney Castle around this image and a few others. But the rumor is that this castle, the Neuschwanstein Castle, was the biggest motivation and the biggest vision for Disney's castle. So we got to take a trip. So we got to the base of the castle, and then you can kind of see that view. That's as we are going up the road, and we actually got to go up the road in a horse-drawn carriage. So that was really cool, and again, really cold. So this is the view from inside the castle. So the castle has sort of a funny story. It was made for King Ludwig II of Bavaria, and it was actually built in the 1800s, so less than 200 years ago. Not as old as many of the other castles in Germany. But the king only lived there while it was still being built, and he only lived there for 6 months before he died. And when he died, it wasn't even built all the way, even though this was like his life dream. So it actually never had anyone move in after that. They decided just to finish the castle and open it up to visitors. So that's just sort of a fun fact for you. So this was just a gorgeous view of the grounds and just the surrounding town from the castle. This is a view that we took from the just from the entrance of the castle. You can kind of see in the middle, a little off to the right, there's this little bridge. That was another option of getting to the castle, but the bridge closes in bad weather. And so because it was snowing, we weren't able to go to that bridge, but it was pretty cool to look at. And then my last shot, I did not take this. I found it for free Creative Commons license on the internet. This is what the castle looks like when it's not snowing. So we got to see the snow-filled view, which as a snow lover, I was a big fan of. But it also is really pretty at all times of the year. You can kind of see now how the colors, without the snow, you can see the blue roof, and it looks a lot like the Disney Castle. So that was my Germany trip and some of my pictures. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed looking at my pictures. I had a really good time going through them, so that was fun for me too. You can shout out in the comments if you have a vote for what country we should go to next week. Your choices are, I wrote them down again, Switzerland, Italy, Greece, Spain, Iceland, England, Scotland, the Czech Republic, or France. So if you have a preference, any of those countries, let me know in the comments and I'll pick one for next week. I miss you all. I can't wait to see you soon. I wish you well.